Right now at noon, time is running out for the soccer team trapped in a cave in Thailand as oxygen levels start to decrease. Plus, the trade war between the United States and China is escalating, how it's affecting Wisconsin farmers. And Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is in North Korea, how he's pushing that country to give up its nuclear and ballistic missile programs.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Friday afternoon. We'll get to those stories in just a bit, but first let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. You can breathe outside again.
Oh, yes, you can. It feels amazing, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, that's right. Dew points have come way down after that cold front that came through yesterday. It swept out the cloud cover and a lot of those rain chances. So we continue to see an absolutely beautiful afternoon out there. 74 degrees right now. Dew points in the upper 40s. At this point, it's just downright invigorating to step outside and feel just how amazing that air is. We don't have to worry about any rain, not here nor really across the Midwest. The high plains do have a few showers, but that's running into a dome of high pressure that's in control of our weather. So we are going to stay dry and nice. 77 in Black River Falls and La Crosse right now. Most folks are in the low to mid and upper 70s for temperatures right now. Dew points are in the 40s and 50s. We'll keep those dew points dropping a little bit as we go through the next couple of hours, but eventually they're all going to level out, keeping things feeling very comfortable for the next several days, Mark. Well, at least the next couple of days anyway. And then eventually that heat and humidity does make a comeback. So let's enjoy what's out there now. It's going to be a great weekend.
Absolutely. Open up the windows this morning, a little fresh air in.
Oh, yeah. It's a window open kind of weekend.
Really?
You're right. Yeah.
All right, Chris. Thanks. We'll see you in a few minutes.
All right.
Top in our news today, police are investigating after a Madison woman running across the Beltline was injured last night after being hit by a van. Monona police say it happened around 7:45 at the highway at Highway 12 near Broadway. Report of a woman running across the Beltline. While officers were driving to the scene, they were told a vehicle had hit the woman. Investigators say the 23-year-old woman had exited a vehicle near Southtown Drive and Royal Avenue and was running down the eastbound on-ramp to Highway 12, then crossing eastbound lanes of traffic. She was hit by a van driven by a 68-year-old Madison woman. The 23-year-old woman taken to the hospital and is listed in stable condition. The names of the people involved in a fatal head-on crash in Dodge County have been released. The Dodge County Sheriff's Office says it happened around 2:30 on the 4th of July on State Highway 16 bypass near 2nd Street Road in the township of Emmett. That's near Watertown. Deputies say 21-year-old Kyle Kuehl of Watertown was driving a vehicle westbound and was pronounced dead at the scene. 26-year-old Sarah Steger of San Francisco was the driver of the eastbound vehicle and sustained serious injuries. Deputies say one of the vehicles crossed the center line, but they did not say which one. The crash is still under investigation. The race to rescue that Thai soccer team found alive in a cave turned deadly overnight for one volunteer diver who passed out underwater. Crews are working frantically to pump water out of the flooded cave where 12 boys and their soccer coach are trapped. With so many workers in the underground complex, authorities are rushing to install a 3-mile-long oxygen tube. A former Thai Navy SEAL diver died from lack of oxygen overnight when he passed out underwater. Authorities are trying to get to the floodwaters to a level where the boys would not have to dive and could swim out with life jackets on, their heads above water. The looming trade war between two of the world's biggest economies, the United States and China, is escalating, with the Trump administration firing the first official shots. Mo Langhi has the latest.
The first strike in the intensifying trade war came just after the clock struck midnight. The U.S. slapping levies on $34 billion worth of Chinese goods. President Trump says that number will increase to $50 billion in the next 2 weeks. China responded quickly with $34 billion in tariffs on U.S. products, with the Commerce Ministry saying necessary counterattacks are now in place.
We are in such a great position.
The president touched on the topic at his rally in Montana.
Do you know that if we knock down the trade deficit, right, the trade deficit, by just a little bit, 25%, and we can do that easily. That's easy. If we do that, we pick up 1 point in GDP.
The Trump administration says the tariffs are necessary to stop China from stealing intellectual property and overproducing metals. But Republican lawmakers in the nation's heartland, as well as business leaders, have reservations.
I have yet to find an example where tariffs have worked. for the long-term good of the country that first imposes them.
Jeff Schwager runs the Sartori cheese plant in Wisconsin. He says the president's trade moves will cost him millions in annual sales. And dairy farmer Stacy Limburg, who voted for the president, told our Dean Reynolds she has her own concerns.
Do you think he created an issue that wasn't really an issue from your point of view?
Right now, yes, and in hindsight, yes.
The U.S. Chamber of Commerce says retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. threaten about $1 billion of Wisconsin's exports. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
And the European Union says it will soon take action to keep steel produced for the U.S. market from flooding into Europe due to those tariffs introduced by Trump. British police are searching for a small vial feared to be contaminated with traces of a deadly nerve agent. 2 people are in critical condition after coming into contact with the toxin. Victim Dawn Sturgis and her partner Charlie Rowley are fighting for their lives after being exposed to the deadly nerve agent Novichok, the same kind of toxin used in the poisoning of a double agent and his daughter 4 months ago. Rowley's brother is still struggling to comprehend what's happened.
He's my younger brother. I love him to bits. I don't want to think anything to happen to him, and yet it has.
What's not known, or police won't say, is where the couple came into contact with the nerve agent. Today, police are scouring areas to find out where that nerve agent came from before it harms anyone else. So far, they've sealed off 6 sites. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has landed in North Korea as he continues the push to give up the country to give up its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. Pompeo will have a follow-up visit about denuclearization. This will be his 3rd visit to the country and the first since last month's meeting in Singapore between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. President Trump told Fox News on Sunday that he trusted Kim would dismantle his nuclear program, but admitted the deal they agreed to could fall apart. The Washington Post reported that U.S. intelligence believes those North Koreans are planning to conceal the number of warheads in their arsenal.
We don't talk about intelligence matters. The secretary has been very clear and very blunt with the North Koreans about what he expects.
One hoped-for breakthrough during Pompeo's visit would be the return of the remains of U.S. soldiers killed during the Korean War. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
They're crispy, crunchy, and downright delicious. Just wait till you see how easy these are to make at home. Have you ever been at the market or stopped by a roadside stand and noticed what looks like mini cucumbers? You know, the ones that are about 2 to 3 inches long and the skin is a bit paler than regular cukes? If you have, those are commonly known as Kirby's or pickling cukes. Now, we're seeing more and more of them as they come into their peak season. So let me show you what you can do with them. We can use them like any other cucumbers in our salads, but where they really stand out is when we pickle them. And no, we don't need any special equipment. All we do is combine some water, white vinegar, a touch of sugar, and salt, and bring it to a boil. Once the sugar dissolves, we pour this over some Kirby's that we cut in half, along with some fresh garlic and dill. And as you can see, we made these right in canning jars, but you could also make them in a basic glass bowl. Maybe throw in a few jalapeno slices to make them spicier if you want. Let me tell you, these are way better than any store-bought pickles since they're made with TLC. And whether you serve them with your grill favorites or just sneak one out of the fridge, you can't go wrong. So don't dilly-dally. Go online and get the recipe for our half-sour dill pickles, so you'll have it on hand the next time you pick some of these up. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a crispy and juicy way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
Thank you, Howard. Coming up at noon, we'll have a look at your latest stock and ag market numbers, plus a less humid end of the work week. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your weekend forecast when we come back. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Why a stamp mix-up is costing the U.S. Postal Service millions of dollars. Hannah Doba has more in today's Money Watch report.
The June jobs report shows another strong month of labor market growth in the U.S. American employers added 213,000 jobs. The strongest job growth was in professional and business services, manufacturing, and healthcare, while retail trade lost jobs. The unemployment rate rose slightly to 4% from 3.8% because more people are looking for jobs. U.S. tariffs against $34 billion worth of Chinese imports took effect this morning. It's the first step in what the Trump administration says could be an escalating series of taxes. China retaliated with its own tariff hike immediately. The president says tariffs on an additional $16 billion in Chinese goods are set to take effect in 2 weeks. A mix-up with some forever stamps is costing the U.S. Postal Service $3.5 million. The stamp appeared to show the Statue of Liberty, but it's actually a smaller replica located in Las Vegas. Its sculptor later sued the USPS for copyright infringement. A federal judge agreed yesterday and ordered the Postal Service to pay the fine. The Postal Service said it took the image from a licensed photograph and did not know the image was not the original. That's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Hannah Joba.
Whoops. All right. The Dow Industrial's up 145 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ up 97. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yaki out of the radio barn today. So here are your egg numbers. Chris is here now. Probably the most popular guy in the building, as opposed to yesterday when you weren't so popular.
Well, you know
You're
what?
always popular with us.
I'm gonna go ahead and claim it while it's here before winter comes and everyone hates me. So that's right. Great news coming in for this weekend. Dew points are way lower now than they were this time yesterday. Check out Janesville. 30 degrees lower in terms of those dew points. So if you're curious why it suddenly feels so amazing, this is the main reason why. These dew points have come way down, sweeping out a lot of that moisture and humidity that we've had around here for the past couple of days. In fact, dew points are now in the upper 40s for a lot of us, some mid and even lower 40s coming in. Sheboygan, the dew point at 42. So now you're starting to get into almost fall and winter time dew points around here. That's keeping the skies clear as well. It's going to be hard to get any kind of cloud cover to develop with the lack of moisture coming in with this air. 74 degrees right now. Dew points, like I said, are in the upper 40s for us here in Madison, keeping that humidity very low at 41%. Now we'll go through the next 12 hours. We'll watch your temperatures gradually climb just a little bit more. We may top out in the low 80s. When you have these dry Canadian air masses, sometimes you get your temperatures to spike just a little bit more than they would if there was a little bit more moisture added to them, but nonetheless, it's still going to feel a lot better, cooling down into the low 60s and upper 50s as we get you closer to midnight and beyond. Here we are with Doppler track right now showing you there is no rain to worry about here in Madison, or mainly for the upper Midwest. A few lone showers going up across the Dakotas, but they're running into this dome of high pressure that's keeping us sunny, so we do not have to worry about those at all. In fact, we'll show you how this high pressure really has a lot of control on the region. The cloud cover across the Mid-South, that is actually where the cold front still is. So that cold front gradually pushing to the south. That's also where we're going to see a lot of those higher dew points. So my friends and family watching online in Kentucky, you see those sweltering dew points. You could always come to Wisconsin, but leave the dew points at home. We do not want that at all. High pressure going to continue to take over our weather this weekend. That's going to keep the sunshine around. That also means those mild temperatures will stay. But as it moves further to the south and east, eventually we start to get in on a southerly wind. Our mild turns to warm, and that little H word, it's going to sneak back in here as we get you towards next week as well, which is the reason you'll want to make sure that you enjoy this weekend. We'll see temperatures top out around 81 today, cooling down into the mid-50s for your overnight lows, right around 54. Then tomorrow, once again, we're going to struggle to get out of the 70s. So if you're going to be grilling, I know a lot of us just did it for the 4th of July, but another good day to get out and grill will be tomorrow and Sunday with the pleasant weather that we will have going on, and then that humidity will make a return as we get you towards the middle and end of next week with temperatures approaching 90 degrees for those highs. This afternoon, 81 degrees. We will be sunny, warm, and very pleasant, so enjoy that. Get out by the lake if you have the opportunity to. 81 for your Saturday as well. 84 degrees by Sunday. And then, yeah, that H word returns. By the time we get you towards Monday, it's humid again. Temperatures will be in the upper 80s, closer to 90 as we get you towards Wednesday and Thursday. Rain chances arriving Friday and Saturday of next week.
You're right. Enjoy the next couple of days.
Yeah, we want to enjoy it, but it's the pick weekend of the summer so far. I'm sure we'll have more eventually, but what we've seen to this point.
Best one so far.
Yes, best one.
Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
There's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, a New York high school valedictorian's graduation speech is being silenced by the school. How he's using a different platform to share his thoughts. That's next. A valedictorian in New York was silenced at graduation when the school's president refused to allow him to speak. After that, he found a platform much larger than the ceremony to share his thoughts. Tanner Juberville has the story.
Jason Levitt will be the first person to tell you he isn't perfect, but his 4.11 GPA did earn him the top spot in his class. He had a valedictorian speech prepared for graduation last month.
The speech was just to get my message out.
But that message didn't get out. Levitt says disagreements with school president Joseph Muno led to Muno nixing the speech.
Over the years, we never saw eye to eye when it came to things such as just how the school was ran. I had disagreements with some things.
But Levitt happens to be an intern at City Hall. Mayor Lovely Warren heard about his speech getting canceled, which led to this. The mayor had Levitt record his speech, which was later uploaded to the city's YouTube account.
The main thing I want to get across is that it's a lot of people. And I didn't even name close to 10% of everybody, but it's a lot of people that helped me out on the way here.
The video now viral. His 3-minute long speech mostly spent thanking family and friends, until the end when he confronts Muno.
And after all these years, all this anger I had towards you and UPrep as a whole, I realized that I have to let that go in order to better myself. And I forgive you.
Levitt says he didn't want to confront the school, but felt he had to because it shaped who he is. Weeks later, Levitt says in some ways, he's happy he was denied the speech at graduation.
If I would have gave my valedictorian speech at that graduation, then that speech would have stayed at that graduation. But now it's everywhere. Now everybody's hearing it.
And Levitt plans to attend Clark Atlanta University in the fall. He, of course, has a full scholarship. Brave young man.
Yeah, absolutely awesome. There's a little bit of
go ahead.
nerve when you give a speech at a graduation. Right. I once did that. It's a little bit of a scary thing.
They never asked me to do that. It wasn't up on that level.
It is a scary thing, but what's not scary is the forecast. Of course, we have a lot of beautiful weather out there this afternoon. We'll see highs right around 81 degrees. That humidity staying low thanks to high pressure that is in control of our weather. Mild and sunny conditions all weekend, but as that high moves to the south and east, the mild becomes warm and the humidity gradually starts to creep back into the picture. But if you need to do yard work, this is the weekend to do it. Lots of sunshine, pleasant temperatures, and low humidity to last pretty much all weekend long before we toast back up.
I'm going to stick with the grill cast.
All right, grill cast it is.
All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.